Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Named for the legendary coach and co-founder of the Bengals, here's a good look at Paul Brown Stadium on the riverfront in Cincinnati. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. And they'll be let out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator said right off the top, he's got great footwork. This spot.
And now we get a peek at the Titan offense.
And they come off a tough loss last week, and what's their reward? A second straight road game. Rarely are teams happy about scheduling. They're always calling the league office saying, how come we have this game and that game? But when you're coming off of a loss on the road and you go right into another one, that's a difficult task.
And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. A look there at the defensive starters for Cincinnati. They were very good last week in the win over the Saints.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's about what you consider the break-even mark. If you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course. Pretty nice effort.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. They'll drop to throw. He's got his man, Boyd. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Let's go, H.E. Gator. You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me. Hey, look, 3. Get it.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
2nd and 11. And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 39.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Back to throw here. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
I will see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
And this one is right down Broadway. And the Titans hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now the Bengals get ready for their first drive. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
On first down, Ramsey. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards that time in a Cincinnati. 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to me.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
And the schedule makers have given them a little break right here. Back-to-back home games, and they won last week. So they're trying to make it 2 in a row before they hit the road next week. They have to take advantage of this break in the schedule.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throw left side complete. It's Terry. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Right now they're ranked number 29 in the NFL against the pass, so 4th from the bottom, Charles.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. 2nd and 10. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting has taken over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, as he can really impact this offense. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches. Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here's Logan Cook now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And taken right at the 35. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard. He's going to try and duplicate that and exceed it in this game.
It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
2nd and 5. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one good for 26 and a first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On first down, he'll drop to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw here. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab, and the Bengals have taken the lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Extra point, hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Go now. And you saw. Heavy. Watch the backfield. Get it.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give them 16 yards there, a Tennessee first down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Derrick Henry looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You talking about the little guy back
Tiny.
there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
And that goes as a gain of 37 on third down.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
Looking to throw. He completes it to Boyd. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Titans are going to retake the lead. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Extra point forthcoming. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Ramsey. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They wound up getting nothing out of that 2nd down completion, so now here's 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll drop to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive back. Now, as a quarterback, third and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
A first down and then some. 36 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is...
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on the sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
He completes it to Henry. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Logan Cook now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the 2nd foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
Keep playing. 10-2 stop.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Look at me, zipper. Step.
They'll run on 1st down. Ramsey, and only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. 2nd and 9 now. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guy. Sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Go! 18 Gator. You. And ready.
They begin with Henry.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and he passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 20-yard line.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Now back to throw. Goes underneath for Henry. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll lead here to a third down. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on third down. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. And his kick is indeed good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Nifty move. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
They'll set up a throw. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where you see the final score there. Aaron Jones closing in on 100 yards rushing on the afternoon. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting New Orleans Saints. Alvin Kamara leading the way on the ground there. Finally, let's get over to Carson, see what's happening with the Chargers at home at Dignity Health Sports Park. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. 31-10 was the final score. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we line.
Let's go, boy. Bring it up.
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Here we go on 2nd and 12. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
They'll keep it on the ground with McCoy this time. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So here are the Titans to take over on offense. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football.
Ready, ready. 30 base. 55 to mine. We want this.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a 1st down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just looking the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. And down he goes. A coverage sack. Took too long to get rid of it. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything. Nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. This is taken at the 23. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now a 1st down carry here for McCoy. To the 35. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's make these babies cry.
He'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. Got a man. It's Ross, complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 17-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And now he coughed it up, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
51, Mike 51.
On play action, they'll throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. And he's got it. Sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. John Ross, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are once again going to retake the lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it's a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Back to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Henry. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he's got the 1st down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the 1st down in the process. really good pickup of 28 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
A gain of 3, second down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here we go. 50, plant.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
The running game's played a huge part in getting him down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
They'll give Henry another shot. And he will take this one in for a Titans touchdown. Derrick Henry, his third touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead.
Well, we got a little bit of everything on that run. Offensive line creating some space, but how about the guy running behind his pads into the end zone?
What does that mean when a guy says running behind his pad?
Means that he's going to be a physical runner. That way he's able to use his shoulder pads, his forearms, anything to ward off people and power his way forward.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Bengals getting set to go. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
So the punt rolls out of bounds, and they'll have pretty good field position here up near the 40-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
There you go. Mike. Mike 51. Mike 51. Let's go.
And the busy night for Henry continues. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Again, it's Henry. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory.
You got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Back to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
They got the completion, but they didn't get the first down. So you got to think if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're pretty happy with what you just accomplished there.
Yeah, guy, like you said, got him out of bounds, stopped the clock, kept him short of the marker. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there and a Bengal first. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. They're going to look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3-and-out.
They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Looking to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A gain of 22.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. Here's 2nd and 8. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
60 or. Check right. Single. Check right.
They'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
One score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Quick the edge. Go. 50 wants the mic. It's coming this way. Here we go.
They'll go with McCoy. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow. I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Extra point right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll put it out to the 25. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They're down here in a 1-score game. At the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Complete. Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Back to throw. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. Down 4 late. Got to go for it here on 4th down. Back to throw. He completes it to Boyd. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. The Bengals drive about to get going, and they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game.
So for the Bengals, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Titans, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.